Commissioner Shermack is excused. Mayor Shellick,
Present.
Wayne Beck,
Here.
Henry Dickey. I didn't hear from Henry, so I don't know. But Marion Gatto,
Here.
Brenda Sacco.
Here.
Okay, does someone have a flag in their office to do the Pledge of Allegiance?
No, but we can.
I have one actually here. Hang on. Some rotary flags here. If this works.
Okay.
Is this good?
Yeah.
Okay. I'll stand up every.
I pledge allegiance
Allegiance to the flag of the United
States of America and to the republic for which it stands,
one nation,
indivisible,
liberty and justice.
Justice for all.
Okay, before we get started, I just wanted to take a minute to express our condolences to the untimely, unexpected, and very sad death of Kevin Shaughnessy, who is a very well-respected, hardworking county employee. He has a 9-year-old daughter. His passing was very sad. So I just would like to, if everyone's okay with it, just take a moment of silence for him. Okay. Thank you. Opportunity for public to address the board. Agenda items only. Anything?
I didn't get any emails, so I think we're good.
Okay. Presentation of the minutes for approval from the meeting that was held on March 13th, 2020. To approve those minutes?
I move to approve the minutes as presented.
Do I have a second?
I'll second.
On the question? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Aye. Okay. Presentation of voucher of approval, the March 14th, 2020 through May 13th, 2020. Who will be presenting this?
I will present those. The first three, we have one for 8150 to the Recorder of Deeds. That's for acquisition of property from the repository. Correction for the city of Scranton, that was for $100.25, and attorney Joseph Colbasani for his legal services at $12.50. Now, I have the other ones marked in red because we, due to the pandemic, I wasn't able to get signatures from everyone. So they were paid through the general fund, and we will be reimbursing those at a later date.
Okay.
Okay.
Is there anything that we could do to get those signatures for you, Ralph?
I already spoke with Wayne and Marion, and they'll be available to. And I can just work it out with them to get the check signed and get these paid with land bank funds. Okay.
Brian Dowen, my assistant's at your use if you ever need him for anything. Does anybody have a motion for approval?
I make a motion to approve the voucher expenditures from March 14th this year through May 13th this year.
Second.
On the question? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Number 6, discussion items.
Okay, I'll proceed with that. The first one would be just a land bank, the general update of where we are as far as properties sold or conveyed. As of this date, we have 129 properties. 128 of those are in the city of Scranton, and one is in the city of Carbondale, and they're one of our newest members of the land bank. We have 5 additional ones that are in the pipeline right now, and those are both in Carbondale, and in the city of Scranton. The next one would be the year-end 2019 audit. I did send copies of the audit to all the board and asked if there's any questions, and I didn't get any feedback. And so far, everything looks good as far as the audit was concerned. And I had to get those copies of the audit to the finance department of the county, and also to DEC, the Department of Economic and Community Development for the state. And I've got no feedback from them either. So that's where we are with that. See, new interest in the land bank. Commissioner, you and I have talked about this, about what we're going to do in the near future with your idea. I don't know if you want to, I think you might have just told everyone at the last meeting what our plans were before all this pandemic broke loose. And
initially, my goal was to go to the work sessions, start with maybe the school boards, and then go from there. I feel like I think that maybe the hesitancy, I can't even speak today, hesitancy of the school boards and the municipalities is that they don't really know about the land bank and what it entails. So that was my initial goal. I was going to take Ralph with me if he was so willing, and we were going to truck around and try to get the pandemic set in, and here we are, Zooming. So Ralph was kind enough to put on a jump drive the information that I need for each school district. I didn't have a chance to go through everything. Did you give it to me for the municipalities too, or did you just give me so far just for the, okay. So and I already have an email together. So, and then Jim Rodway, who seems to be the gatherer of information, the king of, he got me all the contact information I needed. So I am going to start next week sending out emails to the heads of the school board or the superintendent, me or Brenda, whoever you guys think I should aim these emails to. I'm going to send them some information on the land bank, potentially the video that Ralph had given me, and hopefully try to generate their interest in it, and then just follow up from there and keep going. And then once the pandemic, either we're through it or we're moved to a different phase where people start resuming some form of activity, I don't know if I'd be able to jump on any of their Zoom meetings, to be honest with you. But maybe, their interest is peaked, but they're not quite willing to jump on board. Then we'll try to visit them in person and try to get their approval to join the land bank. So my goal is to at least have some additional, my goal initially was to have a lot of the non-participants be participants in the land bank by the end of the year, but the pandemic has obviously things for us a little bit, but we are going to try to be proactive and try to get people, get municipalities, get school boards on board with us. If anybody wants to be involved in that, let me know. Otherwise, I'll just start sending the emails out.
Well, NeighborWorks has been a big help with us, and right before the meeting, I forwarded a one-pager that Jesse put together, just a one-pager as far as helping us with outreach.
Okay. And Ralph, you did a great job. Just so you know, Brenda, he did an excellent job putting all that information together for me.
Ralph is great. He's to the county, to my department. He's awesome.
So thank you for that. So I will keep everybody posted as I get responses. Hopefully I will get some response one way or the other. Hopefully it'll be positive feedback.
Thank you. Next thing on the list is the interest-free loan repayment. Back when the land bank started, we need some seed money, and the Economic Development Department gave us a $50,000 loan to get us started. And now that we're pretty decent financial shape right now, we're in a position to repay that loan. So Brenda, if you just, you know a little bit more about where the money came from, and so.
Yes, so it was from an enterprise zone revolving loan fund that we had many, many years ago. So we had that capital available. The land bank needed it to get started. It was a loan. And at this point, we feel that the land bank has enough cash within their account to continue operations. And we have some LSA funding also available. So it was an opportune time to repay that loan back to the enterprise zone account.
And the loan was in the amount of $50,000. So we thank you for that loan.
Glad to help.
Okay, we will be talking, the board is going to have to pass a resolution for repayment of that loan later in the meeting when we go through the resolutions, okay?
Okay.
601 Prospect Avenue, again, that's an ongoing project over at the corner of Prospect and Alder Street with the Veterans Resource Coalition. Brenda, I'm going to ask you again too, because you as Vice President of the Veterans Resource Coalition, just tell us where we are with that as far as the clean out and.
Yes. So this property, again, was a property in the land bank, and we have a lease and purchase to buy agreement with a purchase to purchase with the land bank. And it was full of junk. There was a hoarder. Clean out the entire home with LSA funds that the Veterans Resource Coalition received. With those funds, we're also going to look to have a design made for the rehab of that to be permanent supportive housing for our veterans. We're also working with Johnson College. And once we get the design, it puts us in a good place to go for federal home loan bank funds to rehab that property. And it is the opportune time to do so, given where we're at right now in the pandemic and the homelessness. And it will be, again, permanent supportive housing for our veterans when we're finished with it.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome.
The next one is the Scranton Demolitions. We had a standing with the city of Scranton to tear down 4 buildings. To date, 2 buildings have been demolished. 3 buildings have been demolished. And those are at, it was the old bar on Bryn Mawr Street, 225 Putnam, 1022, 24, 26 Snyder. Those are all down. We have one more to go at 1619. To get that one down as well, hopefully in the near future, because that's been kind of around for a while, and it's kind of a no-brainer since the land bank owns it. But the only thing is we have to get a right of entry from an adjacent property owner to come across the property to take that property down. We'll be working on that slowly but surely. We're getting things done in the city between the 128 properties that we've acquired. And the next one would be the West Scranton Revitalization. And I'll let Jesse or Todd.
Sure. I'll start off, and then I'll hand it off to Todd to talk about some specifics. But the Luzerne Street section in West Scranton that we've been looking at for a few years now, properties that were brought into the land bank. I think, Ralph, it's part of the first 100 days, if I'm not mistaken.
Yes.
Or soon after that. And part of the goal for that was there, a series of blighted properties that make up a block that's really about half a block away from West Scranton that we've been targeting just as a blighted area that we want to clean up. There's many students who walk by those lots each and every day on their way to school. So we've targeted that as part of a revitalization effort in the neighborhood. And so the land bank has the property. NeighborWorks has raised some funds to help with just cleaning those lots up. And then we've been working with local residents and partners to kind of talk about and think about what the long-term plans for those properties might look like over time. So Todd, Boozley from our staff has been leading the West Scranton revitalization planning process for our organization, and worked with our consultant to put some take some ideas and then put that into some schematic drawings. So Todd, I'll kick it over to you. I know that those drawings were also included as part of the board's packet for the meeting today.
Great, thanks, Jesse. Yeah, so if you take a look at some of those drawings, there's two of them. You know, and these I'll note are just initial concepts for properties. You know, we need to do a little more homework and figure out what's going to actually be feasible here. But these ideas came from residents. So when we did our surveying and community meetings and talked to the people who live in West Scranton and the folks who own businesses there, these are some of the things that they'd like to see in some of these spots. So we took their input and kind of, you know, envisioned what could be in, you know, on these otherwise blighted lots. The first option here is, you know, basically using that space as public space. You know, that might include some sort of a community garden, might include some pop-up space, some open space where, you know, we could have events, performances, things like that. It might include some sort of a playground, picnic area, some recreational opportunities. Keep in mind that these lots are right across the street or catty corner from West Scranton High School. So, you know, we had an opportunity to talk with some of the students there and talk to the principal there and get some feedback from them as well. They're very interested in, you know, anything that we could kind of incorporate into some of their curriculum, into their programming, which is where, you know, the idea of a community garden came in place, you know, something that some of the students might be able to get involved in through some of their coursework. And, you know, we also want to use this space potentially to provide some opportunities for so they can go, you know, rather than hanging out at, you know, Walgreens down the street, maybe some public space that they could use, you know, after school. The second option is a little more ambitious. It's actually looking at those lots and, you know, proposing some new construction, whether those are townhomes or single family homes. But you know, some new units of you know, residential homes in that you know, block of Luzerne Street, while still keeping some sort of public space as well, whether it's a park or just a little picnic area, potentially some parking as well for either the public or for the residents in those new homes. So these are, you know, again, just initial sort of concepts, but things that we're going to be sort of refining and you know, hopefully accomplishing over the coming years.
Anybody have any questions? You know, the land bank owns three out of 5 of those properties. That's why, you know, we have that on the agenda, and anything NeighborWorks does as far as those properties are concerned would be a definite asset to fix those properties up because they need some work.
Yep, and as Jesse mentioned, you know, our initial goal this summer and fall is to at least get them cleaned up. You know, get rid of you know, a lot of dumping has been happening there, so we want to get it cleaned up and looking good. Put some grass down, maintain it until we can you know, until we can get our things together, things in order, so we can you know, kind of return these to productive use and redevelop the properties.
Yes, Commissioner, in the past, we've been able to use some prison help to clean up our properties. So I'm going to get in touch with the warden again this year so that he can give us some help again this year, okay?
Yeah, I think that's a great idea. I'm meeting with him today at 2:00, so I'll mention it to him that you'll be getting in touch with him.
Okay, thank you very much. Moving on to Fell Township update. There's really not too much of update since the last meeting. We're still trying to get that schoolhouse torn down by working with them. The land bank has committed $20,000 towards the tipping fees for that project, but it's such a big building that some of the bids that came in were a little bit too high for even the township to handle. So they're looking at different alternatives about possibly taking it down themselves, and you know, just looking for a way to get that down. So I haven't had any updates lately from the township, but I'll be in touch with them shortly. Bid openings. We don't have any bid openings. We have the 3 properties that we received applications for to purchase, but they were the single applications for each property. So we can move along now to just what was discussed. As the board knows, prior to this meeting, the advisory committee just went over some things. And again, they're a big asset to the land bank because they're out there, pushing for us as well. And we review the properties with them, and they just give recommendations that they feel was the best use for these properties. So Jess, if you want to, as the spokesperson for the advisory committee.
Sure, be happy to. So thanks again for the opportunity just to talk a little bit about the advisory committee and our role in this whole program. One of the things that we try to do at every meeting is just kind of reiterate why we exist as an advisory committee and what our roles are. And there are really two main things that we focus on. The first is really to advocate for the purpose of the programs of the land bank into the community and to the municipalities that we're trying to engage. So we want to help amplify the voice of the land bank board into the community, tell the great stories of all the things that are being accomplished, and help with engaging more partners and users of the land bank. And so, as was mentioned earlier, we helped, with NeighborWorks kind of taking the lead on that, produce a video to explain the land bank that we can use in our outreach efforts, and also producing some materials like the one-pager that you saw today. So those are just different ways that we ask our committee members to help get the word out about what we're doing in the community as a whole. The other really is to inform the land bank board of any types of things that we're hearing in the community, so impacts or reception from different municipalities and folks in the community about the work of the land bank, and as Ralph mentioned, put together any recommendations or information that will help guide the decision making. So one of the things that we talked about today is the from land bank advisory committee members talking about what they've been hearing in their work. So, from the Scranton School Board, from the City of Carbondale, from other nonprofit organizations that have interacted with the land bank so far, all very positive responses, and all have agreed to help really get the word out again through different mechanisms that on the work of the land bank. So we're going to be putting out the video and the one-pager. And really starting to push that over this next week. And so we're asking people to share that and get the word out on those fronts as well. So those are the main things that we've been focused on. But again, I'm happy to engage or answer any questions as the need arises from the full board.
Oh, I looks like I missed the Blight Task Force update. You just want to just give a quick one?
Sure. Yeah, I'll jump in on that as well. As the board may know, the Blight Task Force is one of the reasons the land bank has been kind of involved and out front on that is because the land bank is a great tool for municipalities to use to fight blight in their communities. So having a role in helping train municipal officials, code officers, others that are actually doing the work on the front lines in these communities is a good way for the land bank to get its word out and engage folks in doing this work. So the Blight Task Force, we've been doing that mostly through education and outreach. We were hoping to pull together kind of an in-person event training for code enforcement officers this spring. Obviously, that's not going to be happening. So we're looking to shift that to probably a web-based program, whether it's a webinar, some tools on how to respond to the current pandemic, in terms of how code enforcement may need to happen in light of what's happening in the communities now. And then hopefully be able to pull together some more in-person trainings in the fall. So still working behind the scenes on that. And our goal really is to support the municipalities and the folks doing this work to combat blight on a regular basis. as efficiently as possible.
Okay, Jesse, thank you. Commissioner, I'm going to just move along now to our property discussions, the land bank property discussions.
Okay.
First parcel that we received property purchase application was from Mr. Joseph Tallarico. This is an adjacent property up in Carbondale to his at 118 Archibald Street in Carbondale. And it's currently on the repository, and what we'll have to do is take it in from the repository and then convey it to Mr. Tallarico. He's the only one interested in it. We have these properties advertised on our website, both land bank owned properties and repository properties. So they're out there for people to view them and give us applications. So what we'll do is, I'll go through them all, and then from there we'll do the resolutions. Okay, Commissioner, and you can handle it. Okay. So that's and Jess, if you want to, as far as that property, or just want to wait till the end.
Well, I can say just right off the bat that the advisory committee did look at all of these properties in our last meeting, discussed them, got some feedback from the municipality. So obviously Michelle Bannon from City of Carbondale is on the committee and had some background information about those properties in Carbondale. So the recommendations from the advisory committee are really were in favor of all of these actions. So I'll just kind of throw that out there as a blanket statement, Ralph, so we don't have to do that for each one.
Okay, thank you.
Thanks.
The next one is a structure at 54 Farview Street. It's a blighted property, and the City of Carbondale asked us to take it in, and we're going to work with them to have it demolished. And then once it's demolished, we will market that property as a side lot for any adjacent property owners. They have also asked for a $5,000 help grant from the land bank to assist with the tipping fees with that demolition. We do have money available from the LSA funding to do that, and it's really the same funding that we use for the city of Scranton. You can see it does need to be torn down. So that's the property at 54 Farview Street. Again, we'll be taking that in. This one will just be taking in from the repository of unsold property. The next one is going back to the city of Scranton. It's a vacant lot in the 600 block of Mulkey Avenue. An adjacent property owner would like to purchase that as a side lot. It is severely sloped. I don't think you could do too much for it. There might be a lot of site work in order to do any kind of construction on that property, but the gentleman has been trying to get this property for years, and it's just, the tax claim office finally was able to go through a judicial sale, and nobody bought it at the judicial sale, so now it's on the repository list. So those are the three properties that we'll be acting on today. The board will be acting on today. So if we want to go ahead with the resolutions, Commissioner.
Okay, so the first resolution number 20-004, approving the acquisition of additional property from the tax claim office repository list of unsold property. Do I have a motion?
I move that.
Motion.
Second,
Second.
on the question? All in favor?
Aye.
Dispositions, resolution number 20-005, approving, Ralph, I don't have to read the resolutions themselves, do I?
We haven't in the past. No.
You haven't, or you have?
We haven't.
Okay,
No.
all right. Because we do at the board meeting, at the commissioner's board meeting, just making sure. Okay. Resolution number 20-005, approving the conveyance of certain land bank owned property under the property purchase program. Do I have a motion to approve that?
Maybe if you just want to, state who they're being sold to and the price, maybe if you want to do that.
I don't know if I
have the resolutions attached there.
Maybe just read the now therefore be it resolved. Only a small paragraph.
For a reason unbeknownst to me, wait, I just need 1 second. My assistant did not print that one last part out.
Ralph, could you read it for her?
Yeah, no problem.
I don't know what he did, to be perfectly honest with
Okay,
you.
now therefore be resolved by the Board of Directors of Lackawanna County Land Bank that the board determines that the conveyance of the properties listed below for the consideration determined and accepted by the board to be in the best interest of the land bank. Property address is 118 Archibald Street, Carbondale. Purchaser Joseph Tallarico. The price would be $500.
Do I have a motion to approve that that resolution? That's 20-005, right?
Yes.
Yep.
Do I have a motion?
Motion,
I make a motion effective that.
Second?
second,
On the favor, on the question? All in favor?
aye.
Aye.
Resolution number 20-006, approving the conveyance of certain land bank owned property under the side lot program. You want to read that, Ralph?
Yep. Now therefore be resolved by the Board of Directors of the Lackawanna County Land Bank that the land bank determines that conveyance of the properties listed below for the consideration determined and accepted by the board to be in the best interest of the land bank. Property is in the 600 block of Mulkey Avenue, PIN number 167-805-030014. Purchaser would be Daniel Craddock and Barbara McDonough for the price of $100.
Do I have a motion to approve resolution number 20-006?
Motion.
Second? Is there a second?
Second,
On the question? All in favor?
aye.
Resolution number 20-007, approving the repayment of the loan to the Lackawanna County Department of Planning and Economic Development. Ralph?
Now therefore be resolved by the Lackawanna County Land Bank Board of Directors, approve the repayment of the $50,000 loan to the Lackawanna County Department of Planning and Community Development and authorizes the chairman of the board to execute all documents related to said resolution.
Do I have a motion to approve resolution number 20-007?
I'll make that
I
motion.
make a motion.
Do I have a second?
Second,
Second.
On the question? All in favor?
aye.
Aye.
Next agenda item, opportunity for public to address the board. Anything?
No, the public was given an opportunity to send emails to me prior to the meeting at 9 o'clock. I did not receive anything.
Okay. So our next scheduled meeting, just for everybody's, for clarity purposes, is Wednesday, June 10th at 2020 at 11 p.m. I move for adjournment if there's nothing else. Or I'm looking for a motion for adjournment.
I'll make that.
Motion to adjourn,
We're all on delay. Do I have a second?
Second.
Second.
On the question? All in favor?
aye.
Aye.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Stay safe, everybody.
Everyone.
Okay.
See you next month.
Okay,
Bye.
Bye.
Bye now.
bye.